Hello everybody, it's Shauna L. Francis. Today is October 1st, 2022. Goodbye September, we're into October, the last 3 months of the year. Thanks for joining me, Army of Light Boots on the Ground, Earth Division, for our Ascension Daily Update today. I'm in Newport Beach, California, getting ready to watch Eddie Vedder and Jack White tonight on the beach down at Dana Point. I'm feeling so blessed to be able to do this. We're having a blast. Really a lot of energy here at the resort today at this hotel. The birds are loud and people running everywhere, planes going overhead, so I apologize in advance for all the noise. Okay, so Melchizedek today, and I'm kind of awkward in how I'm set up here. Today's messages are for the overachievers out there, and I've been one of those for sure. I've slowed down quite a bit in the last few years. I mean, almost to the point of being unrecognizable, and it's all for good. It's all been for good. This is, as the Galactic Federation of Light has said before, this is not for the faint of heart. And when you have created a life for yourself based on control, keeping things moving, climbing the corporate ladder, setting your sights on goals and working towards those, and that's really given you a sense of identity or of success or meaning in your life. All these things are have been built mostly out of a 3D construct. That has just, that values different things and where we're going with this ascension. So I'll go ahead and get right into it here. I mean, he got right into it. Very few little pleasantries. We just boom right into this here. He said this can be they said this can be a very long road. It can also be a very lonely road, especially for those who wish to remain with the comforts of their old lives. They say here, this path really does require change, and this is on all levels. These are not cosmetic changes. I mean, I can certainly attest to this. I would have to imagine that not everybody has to go through such a major transition as I have to be on this path of light. In fact, I know that you don't. But I think for many of us, getting ourselves in alignment with love and light and this whole new way of knowing ourselves beyond the illusion here, it does require some significant change. And they go on here. But the good news is that this will come in stages. There will be plenty of time for integration and acclamation to the new, as these different points in evolution present themselves to be accepted where you sit. And they go on, as we have said, we feel that the human timeline trajectory is at its most optimal. So what was this, guys, about a week ago? They talked about we're on the best timeline. We're on the most productive timeline, the least destructive, what have you, the best timeline that they can ascertain, and now it's just a matter of moving forward. It allows for the greatest amount of growth in the smallest amount of time, so that most people will be able to ride this wave most competently. So it's not like it's too hard, it's not like it's not enough, but it should be a level of challenge that is mostly comfortable for people. Maybe you would argue with that. I know there's a lot of suffering going on here and a lot of pain and chaos and anger and so much fear. But in terms of the light workers here who have said yes to being a way shower and a light bringer, they're saying that this trajectory, kind of where we're headed, how we're doing it, it's going to allow for the most people to be able to awaken and ride the wave of these new frequencies the most competently. They said here, some will fall off the surfboard. Some may never get on the surfboard to begin with. But for most of you, this shall be challenging, but not overly so. So are you up for the challenge here? Are you saying yes to this? Are you going to give it a whirl? It may be less challenging for those who can let go of control and be more accepting of the unknown. Oh my gosh, yes, this is where I sit. It's when the panic starts, when one begins to realize that there's no going back. We are on a new path together. It's a feeling for loss for what was known previously. I'm going to say this again. It may be less challenging for those who can let go of control and be more accepting of the unknown. It's when the panic starts, when one begins to realize that there's no going back. We are on a new path here together. It's a feeling of loss for what was known previously. So much Melchizedek, Galactic Federation of Light. These guys talk about it's a rebirth. It's a reckoning. It is a shedding. And everything that was created in the old, based in fear, must crumble and be built in new ways. And that is true for us as singularities. It's true for us as society. And there's just no going back at this point. So believe me, that, I thought, okay, can I just go back to my old job and kind of do what I used to do? And I knew that I really couldn't, but it gets hard sometimes, and you just, what are my options? You start looking at all these options. And at this point, I'm just like, okay, I'm going to go with this. I'm all in, guys. Just let's do this thing. But it's, I'm 4 years into this. It's taken me some time. And I'm still learning how to let go of control. That's a hard one for me. All right. This can be one of the biggest barriers to stepping more fully into this path with grace. All right. We gather together now through these transmissions and these videos. We come in for a bit of a huddle. We check in with each one of you. We share information. We put our hands on each other's shoulders as a show of support. And we lean in and we say, everything is going to be okay. I really feel that. And dare we say, they continue, dare we say, so much better than okay, this takes trust and faith. Yes, it does. They go on here, rarely is change valued for the transformational qualities inherent in change. We want things to be better, but we don't necessarily want to get through all the steps to get to that better place. We want to kind of just go from A to Z and skip all the stuff in between. And really, it's just not how it's going to work. And much of this just stems from heavy feelings that most of your societies value, such as busyness, working extremely hard, setting your sights on goals and working toward those goals, even at the expense of your health and your well-being. I can certainly relate to this. Soccer mom, all that stuff. I did all of this. There's a generally shared sentiment that much more rest is needed. So here's where I think they're going with this change and kind of the resistance to change. We're already so busy. We fill up our schedules with so many things to do. There's never an end to our to-do list, and we just go and go and go and go day after day, week after week, month after month. And when we get layered on this whole thing of change and transformation, it's like, oh, I'm already so overburdened. I just need a rest. I just need a break. So it's that feeling of already being tapped out, and now you're layering all this new stuff on top of me now that I've got to deal with. There's no going back. I can't escape this. This is my trajectory. I'm moving forward. So like they said, there's a generally shared sentiment that much more rest is needed. Breaks in between the chaos, slowing down of time, a straightening out of all the curves. Like, can you just imagine, like, okay, there's the straight shot. I don't have to zig and zag and turn left and turn right to get where I'm going. It's just a nice, straight, easy line. And I do think that's where we're going, We're straightening out the curves. And this change can bring that much needed respite. This change, the Ascension, can bring that much needed respite, but it may be painful to get there. And I know that we all kind of share this, right? change isn't easy. It's not something that we embrace. It's not something we value, even with the intrinsic, qualities of change, meaning transformation, evolution in most cases, certainly in this case. We must keep our eyes on the prize, on this evolution, on the ascension, on the joy, love, and light that this will encapsulate for all who dwell within this field. We must keep our eyes on the prize, on this evolution, on this ascension, on the joy, love, and light that will encapsulate, that this will encapsulate for all who dwell within this field. And again, here, the path becomes easier for those who consciously choose to walk upon it. I can definitely say that that's true. There will begin to be felt a lessening of burdens of heaviness. The horizons will look brighter, more colorful. Your goals and all of your challenges in reaching those goals will lessen in importance as you begin to really shift how you relate to this world and to the human experience. What do you consider to be success in your world? Is it a bigger house, a better job, a better paycheck, more free time? We start to value things differently than we did before all this started to happen. Things that seemed so important to me 5 years ago are really meaningless today. I feel that, I see that, I know that, and I'm just trying to flow with these changes and let go of control and allow my team, the universe, the natural flow of energy here to take hold, where I'm not, like Melchizedek said today, sprinting up the hill. I've always thought of myself as like pushing that boulder up the hill. Like, you got to stop doing this. The path of least resistance truly is the right path for us. The paths that gets our heart beating and pumping with excitement, that is our path. It's not always just this path that it feels so burdensome, so tiring, so exhausting. It takes every bit of our energy to focus on that, whatever that goal is, that really is not allowing space for us to step into these new frequencies and to be a part of this new world. So hopefully there's a few out there who really relate to this message and needed to hear this today. They said, and this can all be viewed as a gift. So we speak to all the overachievers out there fighting the good fight, sprinting up the hill, so many plates spinning in the air, so many plates spinning in the air on sticks. Take some much needed time. That's loud. We're almost done. Take some much needed time to stop and take a deep breath. Let yourself float for a bit. Let's make some space for the new. And that is how they ended it. Let's make some space for the new. Let's start. I mean, you have to kind of force it, guys. My one-on-one sessions with people, who are the, quote unquote overachievers, goal-oriented people. That's kind of our self-worth, is in what we can achieve and accomplish, especially if it's, a goal that we've set for ourselves. Literally, it's like, what can fall off your plate that can now be replaced with time for breathing and floating? And being okay with that, like that state of nothingness, and just being in the moment, taking those deep breaths, closing your eyes. And you'll realize the sky doesn't totally fall in on you. Life goes on. I used to have so much fear about dropping the ball somewhere, especially at work, like with the career thing. I wanted to be completely reliable, always the go-to person, always doing an excellent job. I mean, these standards for myself were just so high. And once you reach that level, you work so hard to maintain it. And truly, it's not sustainable all the time to be working at that level. It's exhausting. And we see folks with the heart attacks and the cancer and some of these other illnesses, fibromyalgia, where we're tired, we're sick and tired. So if that's you, if you're relating to this message is for you. Just stop. Stop and make some time. Maybe this requires you to make some significant changes in your day-to-day schedule, but that hour of quiet time a day, journaling, talking with your guides, leaving space to listen for your guides, listen for guidance, or feel for guidance, or see guidance, whatever, or know the guidance. If you wake up and then in between your waking state and your sleeping state, your day is full and you're not making time for this, you could be missing out. You could be missing out on some really cool things and some very important rest, integration, acclamation to these new frequencies. So anyway, what are we doing here? We're planting seeds, we are igniting sparks, and then we'll watch this stuff nurture and grow as we kind of get our legs underneath us here. And Cryon yesterday talking about the platform of love being more solid, where we can all really stand on this platform and not feel wobbly. We're feeling way more anchored into this platform of love, and this is where we're walking now. This is where we're walking. All right. I hope you found this helpful. I hope you're doing well. Have a wonderful weekend, a wonderful Saturday, and I assume I'll see you all tomorrow, okay? I love you all so much. Mwah.